Hey, what's up you guys? It's Lexi DIY and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today is part 2 of our extreme primary bedroom makeover. Now, I will link the first part in case you guys missed it, and there's definitely going to be a part after this because this was a huge undertaking. But today what I'm going to be doing is tackling the floors and a few smaller projects to start the decorating process. So first things first, I'm using my multi-tool to go ahead and cut under any of the door jambs, and I'm using a spare piece of my flooring as a guide so that I can cut the precise amount off of, and the pieces of flooring will just slide right under. It's gonna give for a much more like finished and professional look, and you don't have to cut around the doors and like caulk everything, because then it would probably look pretty busted if I'm being honest. Okay, so now the next step is we are rolling on the Happy Feet primer that came with my floors when Happy Feet sent everything, and essentially this gives like a waterproof layer because the floors are loose lay, and it also gives like a gripping surface for the little suction type rubber like pieces on the bottom of the flooring to like cling to. And I just kind of rolled myself out of the room, and then I let that cure for 2 hours, and I sprayed on their adhesive. Now you only have to spray it around the edges, but I had like so much extra of this, so I just went ahead and sprayed in the center of the room too for some extra security. Now, when I initially laid the floors in the hallway, I had put cut pieces because I hadn't ripped up the carpet in this room yet, but I just peeled those cut pieces up, and then I replaced them with full pieces, and I ended up using those cut pieces in other parts of the room, so they definitely didn't go to waste. But I started this at night, and honestly, I was like, I'm so tired of these floors not being done. I'm gonna get this all done in one night. Yeah, that was actually a joke, because not that these are hard to lay or anything, but up against that wall was tricky because this is an old house and none of the walls are straight, and it was like stressing me out getting the correct cut pieces. And I was like, okay, I'm so exhausted. I'm just gonna do a little bit more and then we're gonna pick it back up tomorrow, which was definitely the right decision because like I was tired. And then I'm just like marking everything and cutting for around, or well, rather under that door jamb. And I'm cutting small pieces at a time because the thing is, you can always take more off, but you can't put the flooring back on, and you don't want to waste like a whole large piece of flooring. So highly recommend cutting in smaller increments and until you get the perfect fit rather than like just chopping off a bunch. Also, you can see me using this LVP cutter. I got it from Amazon. I actually did an entire Amazon live, and I'll link it in the cards here and also in the description, where I showed all of the tools that I used. But in the first round, when I did that live, I actually didn't have those little LVP shears, and I highly recommend those. So I'm gonna link those as well in the description because they really helped me get around like the vents and like weird little cuts that it was hard to get with the LVP cutter, just because you know, it does have restrictions. It's really wonderful for like straight cuts, but sometimes you can't get the cut you need without cutting into another piece of the floor that you need to be there, if that makes sense. I don't really know. Anyway, so I continued to lay everything down, and I'm just making sure that no two pieces that are like the same print are too close to each other. And since the floor or like the room is basically the same length, you don't really want to repeat the pattern because then it looks just like super weird. So I'm using some different offcuts, just like I would in any of the other rooms, but I'm making sure not to repeat the size of the offcuts too frequently so it doesn't look intentional. I don't know how to describe it. Also, anytime I show these floors and installing them in a video, people think that they're peel and stick, and they're actually not. Not that there's anything wrong with peel and stick, because I've definitely used it before, but I would recommend peel and stick if you're just gonna go over an existing floor, not if you're going to like rip it all down to the studs and go on top of the subfloor. So this is actually a luxury vinyl plank product, and it is a loose lay. So the way that it works is essentially these are actually pretty heavy. They have a lot of weight to them. Carrying in the boxes of these was like a lot. The boxes weighed basically half my body weight. So yeah, they're super heavy, and they have like a rubber kind of grip system on the bottom. And essentially, since the pressure of all of them like together essentially holds the flooring together, and with the addition of the like spray adhesive on the outside edges, it kind of keeps everything like into the center. So it's definitely not like the traditional flooring, but it's way easy to install. And the great thing is, if one of them happens to get damaged, or like you drop like a candle or just something crazy, you can peel it up. It might take you removing a few pieces, but you can peel it up easily and replace it. And with a click and lock system, you would have to literally like pull up the entire floor to get to that one part if something crazy happens. So just there's a lot of different reasons why this is great, but yeah, it didn't take too long to do this room, and I was really happy with the floors. I'm obsessed with the color. Then I was like, okay, we gotta put some curtains up in here so that we can actually like move back into here and sleep without feeling like, you know, people were staring in our windows. Not that like people do that, but like I have anxiety, I don't know. All of the curtain rod brackets, the rods themselves, the curtain rings I'm using, and the curtains themselves are from IKEA. They're generally the most affordable place to get curtains, and that are at like a longer length. You can get affordable curtains at Walmart, but generally they're not as lengthy as the ones that you can get from IKEA for around the same price. So I do always recommend going to IKEA. I'm gonna start trying out some Amazon curtains and see if I find any that are comparable, but I do love IKEA curtains, and they're really my go-to. And these little brackets are so easy to install. You'll notice I'm installing them super close to the ceiling, and that's to create the illusion that the room is much taller than it actually is. I did kind of measure out with my curtains before where they need to be hung to hit the floor properly. You don't necessarily want them to be above the floor, but you don't want them to puddle on the floor. And you'll notice I used curtain ring rods on all of them, but I accidentally didn't get one. I missed one. So that curtain in the after shots is like way higher, and you can kind of tell what I'm talking about, you know, hanging them at the right height. So I need to go back and get some more rings for that one. But anyway, here's the before and afters.